So they'll be calling you a radical. Now this is an important video because I'm working on the history of Ogden, blah, blah, blah. So the head of the B.l.m. will be right here in just a couple hours. We got a lot of activists here that are showing up. I stuccoed that building. I stuccoed that building. And I want to talk about this building. When I was in high school, Fall McKay, Brody, Weber High, Kevin Blanch, the Browning there kicked me out. He owns this building. He actually kicked me out of high school, you know, and I was a great writer, you know, at the time. And, you know, so the artist here whose studio is here, his name's Steve Songer, kicked me out of high school. There used to be a famous painting on the wall at Weber High that I drew of my friend Rulin Thurman. He was a big dude with my eyes closed, and I never took my pencil off the thing. It was hung on the wall for years. But I was a wild maniac. Oh God, I was wild. He was a goody two-shoes. So he kicks me out, yet he comes to me and says, will you please do this is his art studio. So I did his art studio. And so, long time ago. So I have thousands of them up and down. I'm going to do more and more of this, but to the SAN ONOFRE catastrophe. And we'll talk some more Ogden history as I'm walking down here. So, you don't think grassroots activism matters. This is a big deal. Now, I know Tom personally. He says, we would have done it differently. SAN ONOFRE is the poster child for corruption and cheating. That's how we got him shut down. So the N.r.c's finally gone in because the whistleblower came forward. Now listen, you wouldn't even know about the whistleblower if it wasn't for our small post-ignorance army. Now listen to me. This is very important about grassroots activism. And it ties right into this hearing that's going to be here today. The B.l.m, they're going to relocate here. The head, I mean, I'm first question up. So you'll see the videos. So nobody shows up to these things. So that whistleblower that came forward, you wouldn't even know if our group wouldn't have been there. Now Chuck and Peter and everybody, you know, myself, Kevin Blanch, we show up, and I live in Utah. We show up. We show up to these hearings. If I'm not there, which I fly down there and I'm there. So we're the ones that videoed that. We're the ones that got it. You know, Chuck has a website now. They have a website called Public Watchdogs. They got it on there. They got it to me. I got it out. I sent it out to LA media. And finally, we have a guy at LA, believe it or not, at Fox News, who talks to me. You know, there's a few of them. Channel 10, San Diego media on US since Reagan's dropped the ball. But that's how we got SAN ONOFRE shut down. That's how we, you know. I was in the bone marrow transplant with LDS dying. Now, this is a Utah issue, and it's a B.l.m. issue because the SAN ONOFRE generator is parked in the Energy Solutions dump site right here in Utah on B.l.m. land, which you've seen the cows grazing out of the B.l.m. land on the water, and I've sent it to Utah, and Utah doesn't care. Now, this is more important. The corruption of Weber County. You know, this corrupt Weber County commissioner drained off my marsh, who got forced out, but who's now, no college degree, no credentials, gets handed a job with the D.n.r. Now it's being reported by the Standard Examiner, because we have a new Standard Examiner, because they had me blackballed, is reporting that he wrote himself a check for $65,000 on the way out the door. And then hands himself ahead of the environmental quality. So the environmental quality has the photos of the videos I sent him of drinking water out of the Energy Solutions drain site on B.l.m. land. Now she's going to be here, and I'm going to talk to her about it. You know how I go. So the SAN ONOFRE issue is a big deal. Now stay with me on the SAN ONOFRE. Now, this building right here, I did the restoration on this building in 1980 for Mayor Madsen. Now, Mayor Madsen, who's recently passed, used to be a big stucco facade across here. You know, that I did as the stuff. I did a lot of the work on this building. It's a grand building. I'll show you some stuff here. I mean, we're trying. I mean, but look what we're up against. We saved Polk by 70 votes. Polk Elementary, Leslie Hodson's last grade, we saved it by 70 votes. Is a big deal. You can't see in there. It just reflects off. There's a fresco in there. But there's a bunch of them. I'm trying to save them. I built the tree in the Children's Museum's right there. That's off in plaster. The Masonic Temple, I hand chiseled. That's Leslie Hodson's first. However, the Standard blackballed me. Wouldn't report. But I've got thousands and thousands of these. But back to SAN ONOFRE. So the original shutdown of SAN ONOFRE, they were cheating, they were cheating, they were cheating. For years, I knew that. I was snuck in there. I would do all kinds of work in there. They had a scram in 2011 on the backs of Fukushima. Now, I'm in the bone marrow transplant at LDS. Now, remember, I was fighting Blue Castle on the green coming here. Single-handedly, by myself. You know, I would say Blue Castle on the green, why not put up a statue of Ted Bundy on I-15? The old Ogden Mall right there. I can do tons of videos about that. And we're going to start recording some of this oral history. Kevin Blanch, the walking, talking encyclopedia here. So Mayor Madsen, when he was mayor, made nothing in the 80s. He was a good guy. This is a historic building. Now, Matt Godfrey and I taught together. We taught college together, you know, and he did all that, which, well, what he did, I don't even get me going on him. I'll just shut my mouth, and I know him good. So, we taught together at Weaver. Clyde Cooley's proteges, both of us. His wife, you know. So, SAN ONOFRE, I was in the bone marrow transplant, and these kids that are in there that I know, which they're still, well, they're not kids. I call them kids because they're a hair younger than me. It shows I'm getting up there. So, they're coming to me and said, Kevin, they're cheating on this exchange. So that's how you had a scram. Now, you can look at the hearings, whatever. Now, Tom and these guys, they'll tell you, I've been at this the whole time. PG&E, Cal Edison, you know, Kamala Harris's work on raiding the house, they'll tell you, they're afraid of me. They're afraid of me in my army. Now, you wouldn't even know this whistleblower army. Now, it's been shut down. You could read through this. This is a big deal. You know, they lied, they cheated. You know, we don't want it there, not on the fucking beach, you know. But who else wants it? They can legally move it to WIP by law. They've been legally moving stuff up to Idaho now, Idaho National Lab. Again, I'll talk to her about B.l.m. ground being used for nuclear waste sites, you know, and I'm going to be right in her face. She'll be here in just a few minutes. You know, we got a group of protesters supposedly showing up, but you know how that goes. You know how that goes. It'll be Kevin Blanch, like I am, inside the state capitol. Governor Herbert lied to me on the Energy Solutions ballot, as you know. Matt quit us for Hill. You know, at Hill, they'll tell you, well, Kevin Blanch does all the dirty work, you know, and, you know, Noah. Ashley quit, went to work at the Sierra Club. So it's, you know, we just don't have anybody. And, you know, so, but I have a YouTube camera and I does. So, the SAN ONOFRE shut down. Some more of my work right there. They were leaking to me. Kevin, they're cheating on the exchange. So it was due for an exchange, just like Diablo Canyon is. So, using a Mitsubishi versus Hitachi, you know, this ties into the USS Reagan, this ties into the Fukushima, it's all the same cover-up. It's a nuclear energy crime syndicate. You know, retracted emails, national security, blah, blah, blah. They just lie. SAN ONOFRE's been lying since I was a little child. My dad nuked to death there. I was born here, but I was conceived on the beach there. Right there at SAN ONOFRE, my dad, you know, nuked to death at a test site. You know, I was given a death sentence in 2011 with multiple myeloma. I'm in the bone marrow transplant. They're coming to me. I've got the field in a big way because of Fukushima, and they're like, oh my God, this guy predicted his own cancer. You know, I got multiple myeloma in my body, ML de novo, I'm dying, a death sentence. So, they're like, look at this. So the whole shutdown was because of their fraud, just like it is now. It's a culture that's been developed. SAN ONOFRE's everything. You can look at the hearings of me going at them. I mean, it's incredible corruption. They were leaking to me. I was leaking it all over the internet, screaming my head off from inside the bone marrow transplant, full account, walking out of the LDS East State bone marrow transplant, standing in front of the Capitol, sucked up to nothing, all but dead, going in and out of coma. That was in 2011, fall, right after I got cancer. In January 30th, 2012, they come to me again. They says, Kevin, they had it rigged back together, and they were using the pipes, and they were Jerry Brown rigging it, and it leaked back into the core, and it blew. I'm like, oh my God, no. What happens with those cores, and this ties into Utah because Waters Construction built the reactors in Fukushima, Japan, right here, Utah, right here, Ogden, the Masonic Temple. I'll do some more videos down there. I can talk lots of stuff here. They built the reactors, the same reactor. It's the same reactor in Japan. They cheated. That's an unarguable fact. Ties into the USS Reagan, gets General Electric, sent in. You know, Obama knew inside the Situation Room. I have the transcript. John Holdren, they knew. John Holdren, Barack Obama, Jeffrey Melding, General Electric, which Utah Construction right here. They knew it was a meltdown by 4:43 3:43 Eastern Standard Time, March 2011, Fukushima, and we've got to cover it up, which tied in the same thing as SAN ONOFRE. So the scram happened, so what happens, the valve, once it goes into the core, that core is live and active, it blew back because they had the pipes, they were cheating on the exchange. And it blew back into the pressure relief valve, and it blew the valve. Now what happens when they blew the valve? They vent the nuclear fallout, which is toxic, it'll kill you dead or now. They have to vent it out of the reactor. They vented it out of the reactor all over San Clemente. That's a fact, Jack, on January 3rd. They'll call it a steam malfunction, just like this. We just dropped the canister. If it wasn't for our group, our historic work, you know, Chuck and her, public watchdogs, but that's evolved from me. You know, Peter, our connections in San Diego, I mean, Kevin Appleseed, you wouldn't even know this whistleblower freaking thing. And they say, oh, they have to put it up. No, they don't. Ask Lori. Lori and I, when I'm going at it with, Lori went at the one guy, whatever, and they said, oh, we'll have to put it in. They never put it in, and they'll just say magic, oh, the tape didn't work. ISIS, when he showed up, I'm the only person who ever got in Alison McFarland's face about this, and Gregory Jacko. There's videos, like then all these videos, I go right up in their face like I will today. You know, and I ask them, hey, because I want to record their lies in history. I mean, this is the greatest crimes in human history. So now the N.r.c. steps in, which, by the way, the N.r.c. is from Idaho National Lab, Cynthia. Her, and this ties into Utah, new scale. Jose Reyes, not to be confused with our Attorney General Reyes, which, by the way, there's a document coming out today saying that the Kingstons and Utah knew they were ripping off $500 million in the solar credits, federal credit, and the state refused to police it. This place is corrupt, just like this county commissioner. Force out, right? You know, they're trying to put a nuclear waste dump site, the Romneys, the Snellgroves, and this commissioner down West 12th Street. This all ties in. It's all the same corruption, you know? So, the SAN ONOFRE waste, so Reyes, new scale. Now, little scale, you know? That's her. She's head of the N.r.c. Now, the N.r.c. has finally stepped in, and after the fact, after the whistleblower, which they got their hand forced by the L.A. Times, because the L.A. Times reported it. Now, the L.A. Times wouldn't have reported it if it wasn't for, you know, Chuck and Thing getting that little bit up, and Kevin Blanch, and they wouldn't have reported that if Kevin Blanch wouldn't have got them going. If I would have called, make sure you're at all those hearings, make sure you go, I'll fly down right now. You know, there was like 12 people at that hearing. So, I mean, this is historic work, and if you don't think one activist is single-handedly can make a difference, oh, it can make a difference. So, that dude used to work for me, for real. I think that's him. Blanch class, huh? They cheated. They blew nuclear fallout. The N.r.c.'s been lying, so I call them the nuclear outriders. Now, her and Reyes worked together at Idaho National Lab. Now, I'm the guy that exposed the funding, which is floor again. That's who New Scale is. Who's floor? Utah Construction, right here. I'm trying to tell you, all roads lead right here. You know, people won't listen to me. You know, the real history of Ogden, you know, the panty painters, you know, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to start telling it. You know, do what you want because you just abuse me anyway and steal everything from me anyway. Thank you, everybody supports. And remember, I've done all this in critical condition. The SAN ONOFRE shutdown is historic. What happened to SAN ONOFRE, the rest of the country's going, all this waste. I still say send it to WIP, centrally located, and shoot it into space. There's no good answer. Horrible answers, they're all bad answers. But just bury it in the ground, burying it right there on the beach is the worst, and this proves it. So they've stepped in. Now, she's head of the N.r.c. The ex-head of the N.r.c. is Alison McFarland. You saw me get in her face, the cover-up of Fukushima. How about Gregory Jacko? Oh, I've been right in his face. You know, him and the ex-prime minister, I'm the one that hooked them up. He stood down inside the Situation Room. Barbara Boxer's lost. We got congressional hearings on SAN ONOFRE, and but nope. You know, Dana Point finally reports it now. LA Times now. When none of you would touch any of this. We did the thing just recently on the beach where we laid down. We had the helicopter, that famous picture or whatever. And the BBC reported it. Reuters reported it. I didn't see any local media reporting it. They called us hippies. I said, I'm not a hippie. I'm a beatnik. From San Diego and Ogden, Utah. I was born here, conceived there. You know, our place. I mean, these are national issues. This is a big deal. They were cheating. Kamala Harris raided the house. She was the Attorney General. Her mother's the epidemiologist from Livermore. I know her. I'm right in her ear all the time. Your mother drove her in the grave. She died of cancer. They don't care. So, Look, grassroots activism matters. You'll see me in action there today. Oh, am I going to raise some hell today? So, they just buried out there. You know, you've seen the cows drinking waste right in there. You know, I've gone to everybody, including our Attorney General, Reyes, who claims he's not related to Jose Reyes. I asked him at the Bear River Massacre. You know, there's a lot of work here, but you could go through my stuff. I always thought somebody would help me package, but apparently they're not. Kevin Blanch, his own publicist, published. And then named Bernard DeVoto, Fama K. Brody. I won't stop there. And I'm going to do more and more work on the real history, the panty painters of Ogden, Utah. You know, I'm the walking, talking encyclopedia around here. And I told Mike Lee, you know, you heard me, where you been? I says, been a long time. You know, Mike, you see the interview when I asked him about Fukushima and he lied to me? I says, I've been on my LDS mission. Oh, really? Where'd you go? That's how they talk. I says, I went to the bone marrow transplant at LDS hospital full of multiple myeloma leukemia. Walked the coast of California dying of cancer. Broke into frequency, snuck in Joni Ray and I full of cancer, snuck in and exposed the fake union work, exposed it at SAN ONOFRE. That's, I mean, you know what risk I've taken there? Ha! Oh boy. Went out here with the neurosurgeon and I were out at Energy Solutions while I was sick with Geiger counters 10,000 times over the state, Utah state legal in the Energy Solution, B.l.m, just dumped it and put it in the ground against state law. Idaho against state law. She's from Idaho National Lab. Now she's head of the N.r.c. Don't you think that's some collusion? New scale. Now Logan and Murray just bought these little nuclear reactors. It's corruption. And they're all the same thing. It all ties in. So, I know it's a lot of stuff I put in my brain, but think of what's in my brain today. I mean, you'd think somebody would sit down and help me, interview me, blah, blah. Thank you for all the thing. You'll see we got some historic stuff going on here. Right here, boy. Weber County, the most corrupt place in the world. Well, that and SAN ONOFRE. That is, and you know, you can look up my SAN ONOFRE videos. You know, anybody that tries to deny my work, go ahead, you fools, and your blah 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 of the internet. You know what they did to the internet, but it's about credibility and the reality, and the cream will rise, and it has. You know, this is a nightmare at SAN ONOFRE, a nightmare. You know, they won't even tell you if they did leak it all over, because they did leak it all over. Funny, they didn't tell you. Steam malfunction? No, it's going to fall off. The N.r.c. is corrupt bastards. Really corrupt. The only reason they've stepped in on this mission, and I know Tom personally, and he says, oh, we would have fuck. Please. Fucking SAN ONOFRE is the poster child, just like Weber County is the poster child for fucking monarchy, fucking wannabe, fucking corruption. Now he's head of the D.n.r, who reports to the Department of Environmental Quality, the guy who drained off the marsh illegally, corrupt as hell. Now he is them with no fucking... Sounds like monarchy shit to me. Fucking corruption from hell. You fuckers ought to wake up in Southern California. Stay tuned. Thank you, Peter. Thank you, Chuck. You know, you should say thanks to all of us. All our dirty work. I get no thanks. I'm a fool to do your dirty work, but I do it. Kevin Blanch doing all the fucking dirty work in the trenches. No credit? Oh, fuck no. They ain't about to give me fucking credit. But I have a YouTube camera. History will show. Those emails in the cover-up of Fukushima, remember, SAN ONOFRE, Kevin Blanch. We're going to hit the beach on D-Day. We're going to hit the beach there. We're going to restart. We're going to restart. I told everybody, they're not going to restart. They're afraid of me. They're afraid of my anonymous hacking army. We have everything. They're afraid we're going to put it out there because then they're going to go to jail. Because they know. You think it's coincidence they shut down on D-Day? When that's it? Ask Tom himself. Those guys sent up, they'll tell you straight up, oh, we're afraid of Kevin Blanch. They should be. Stay tuned.